Hey, welcome to another WLRN live stream. I would like to thank our online audience for coming today, and also to thank our future audience that's going to be watching this on our YouTube channel underneath the live tab. So it looks like we have about 16 sisters, I assume sisters, listeners, viewers right now. And I've got the comments here. And so anytime you'd like to make a comment or ask a question of Marie, please feel free to post it in the comments, and I will be taking those questions and reading them so that Marie can answer them. But so let me introduce my guests today. Marie Vollbrecht. She is a biologist and is studying in Berlin. And over the past year or so, she's been having trouble with trans activists who have defamed her. And about 8 months ago, I did an interview with her where we were celebrating a court battle in which she had won an injunction against some trans activists who were defaming her and making her life difficult. So let me bring Marie on and welcome Marie.
Hi.
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 Awesome.
Thanks
Okay,
for having me.
Yeah, so I guess my first question is, a lot has happened in the last 8 months since I talked to you when we were celebrating that victory. And something that seems to be characteristic of what's going on with trans activism in your life is that it's a continuation of all these different battles. It's not like you win one big thing and then it's over. Can you catch us up and get us up to date on what's happened since that court case that we talked about 8 months ago?
Ooh, yeah, a lot has happened, but maybe to bring you up to date in this case. So that was a crazy one. So I had especially one trans activist who was really fixated on me. And this trans activist started a hashtag that was called Marie is a denier of Nazi crimes. And it was picked up by some trans organizations in Germany who are tax funded. And they started a big media campaign on Instagram and Twitter and called me a denier of Nazi crimes, which before they already called me a Nazi and a fascist and of course a right wing just for talking about biology. And they took a Twitter conversation I had with someone, and twisted it, and then I said that was like that was like calling basically Holocaust denial what I did by just asking a question about trans. And then I went to court. Then first there was a small win. Then I had to go in front of court. I lost because freedom of speech weighted higher. So the right of trans.
Wait a second. Was that in the States? We call that like a court of appeals, right? Did they appeal the decision?
No, I appealed the decision later. So I don't know how to explain it. It was like before you even go to court, a judge can make like a quick decision, because sometimes it takes a long time before you actually appear in front of a court. So that was like kind of like a quick reaction. So the judge ruled that this hashtag can no longer be used. Marie is a Nazi crime denier.
Yes, and that's a victory.
That was a victory, but same judge, some weeks or months later, when I had to go in court, then he ruled differently, because he said, from everything that he he wrote about me, that he called me like a nasty woman. I don't know, maybe like he said, and I should have known better.
How do you say nasty woman in German?
I can't really translate it, but it was just, I just felt like I'm being punished for being outspoken. And I think it's also that judges in Germany don't understand social media. Like for him, he treated it like I said something bad, and then then someone reacted to it, and we both should just get along. And I tried to explain to him, no, this is not just a silly fight on social media. This is actually trans organizations trying to destroy my reputation by calling me a denier of Nazi crimes, which everyone understands, like I'm a Holocaust denier, which I am not, quite the opposite. But then he ruled, but then he ruled, um, yeah, that I don't know.
Later on, he ruled after our
Ruled.
conversation in July, when you
Yes,
had to appear in court for something else, he made a different ruling.
he made no. It was the same case, but then the actual court case, and then he ruled differently. Like I have, it's not like we don't really debate if did I deny Nazi crimes or not. It's just, can they call me that? Or in this situation, on this time on Twitter, was it justified to call me a denier of Nazi crimes? And so the first decision of the court was that they could do it. This trans organization could do it, but they should not repeat it. Like it was really in the context at this time of day, it was okay. And then I tried to appeal, and it was denied. But the other judge, they wrote actually a 23-page long statement, and there were also some forensic reports from historians that looked at the question, did this woman actually deny some Nazi crimes? What did she say? And then they came to the conclusion everything I said was of course not a denial of Nazi crimes, because everything I said was just fact-based, what everyone knows that
So
is a
then, you were
historian.
vindicated. You were vindicated.
It's a kind of vindicated, like I did not, like the court said it, I did not deny Nazi crimes, but can they call me a Nazi crime denier?
Oh, for free
Could,
speech reasons, they can call you a Nazi crime
yes,
denier
could
because
they at this
it's their
time?
political opinion. That actually sounds very familiar. Our defamation law here in the U.S. I'm not a lawyer, but I have consulted with lawyers that do study defamation law, and that can be considered, defamation can be considered somebody's political opinion, and that's
And it's actually, it was quite an interesting statement, because they said, because there are trans activists, they have a different understanding of facts. Like the judge basically said, okay, they're believing in alternative facts, and from this logic, of course they call you a denier of Nazi crimes. I mean, they should not be judged with the same logic standards that everyone else should be judged. Trans activists basically are crazy
this is
people.
what a German court of law said.
Yeah,
That they need to be handled with kid gloves because they're so fragile, that
it's
these
not.
women who don't believe that they're women, fellow women, that they are, dangerous somehow to themselves, these poor men, who have
Yeah,
this delusion.
yes,
So
it's
this
it's
is
it's a
serious.
delusion. It's a delusion, and from there, it's more that like they're treated like a religious group with a distinctive understanding of how biology works and history works. And from their point of view, it's logical that then they feel attacked when confronted with facts. So therefore, it makes sense that they call you a Nazi crime denier, and I somehow have to accept it, even though the judge clearly stated and all the forensic reports stated I did not. So I won because that was really important to me.
Yeah. Oh,
That
Marie,
it's
you
clear
won.
that
You
I
won,
am
but are you protected from the trans activists? You know, because
yeah,
they
so far, because it was only at this time and day. And even all these trans organizations, I mean, I said I won because for me it feels like winning. Also, the trans organizations, of course, they said, oh, yeah, we won. We were allowed to call her a Nazi crime denier. But then they also published, please don't do it again. We will also not do it again because the next time they're doing it, there could be a different court case that I probably would win. So, yeah,
well,
I'm
that's
really
great. I'm glad that you feel that the law is going to protect you.
Yes, but the problem with this is that, of course, the damage is done. Um, some German newspapers then wrote, I was like a convicted Holocaust denier, because this is, of course, what they intended to do. I mean, they're trying to destroy your reputation. And I mean, I never said anything about the Holocaust. Quite the opposite. The only thing I said was Holocaust refers only to Jewish people. Please don't drag the Holocaust in this argument. So I'm so far away from being a Holocaust denier as you can be. But if you hear, oh, she's a Nazi crime denier, everyone, of course, thinks I'm a right wing and I'm a Holocaust denier. So I also had I had to go against some German newspapers and blogs and authors that called me a Holocaust denier. Um,
oh no.
especially, and also especially on Twitter and
Uh-huh.
in like
Where you
English.
have 17,000 followers or something like that, right?
Yes, now.
Does J.K.
But
Rowling follow you?
no, not now.
Not yet.
Please,
Not yet.
not yet. Um, so yeah, but one thing that is really annoying and a consequence of it is that a lot of English speaking trans activists and really well outspoken trans activists, they have like 100,000 followers or millions of followers, like Katie Montgomery. They're always quoting my case as I say, oh, in Germany, a TERF was convicted with Holocaust denial because she said something about trans people.
Oh my
And
God.
that's not true. And there's so much.
And they get to say it because free speech.
Yeah, and as actually, I think they just don't get it. Like all the English speaking trans activists from Britain and like from the UK and from US that don't get it. They're always saying like, oh, denying victimhood to trans people is Holocaust denial. There was this one German TERF who was convicted, and that never happened. I'm always trying to explain that, but I don't know. There were people. It's actually people tweeting about me being a Holocaust denier in English, in Russian, and Chinese. So
Yeah, but
of
who
course,
are these people? Do you know them? Do they have any power over you? Are they robots online? I mean, who are they?
I don't know, but I mean, it's still
It
damaging
still
for your
damages you.
it's
Yes. And
damaging for your reputation when your name pops up all the time, um,
right.
with like Holocaust denier as a
Yeah.
label, which I didn't do.
I mean, it's crazy. What are we supposed to be? What are we supposed to do about this? I don't know if this is a question from Marcia or what it is, but it's something she's saying in German. Can you tell us what it says?
Um, I don't see it, I
It
think.
says, Lieber Marie-Louise, wir haben sie zum Herz.
I think this is not German. Like it is
Oh,
German, but it's I think someone used Google Translate, but thank you.
oh, okay. Then I'm just going to put it back to WLRN. But
Yeah,
anyway,
so
go
actually
ahead.
my plan is I'm talking with some English journalists now because I need someone to actually write like an article about it, not in German, so people understand what actually happened. So this is a thing
Well,
I'm working on.
Redux has done a couple of articles, you said,
Yes.
so that's good. Hopefully they'll do another one. But can you catch us up to date? Like what is going on right now? How are the trans activists treating you? Are you say your name is still coming up in articles on social media as a Holocaust denier, and
Um,
as a turf,
as
right?
a turf, it's
And
like,
they even go so far as to say that you're a Nazi, right?
yes.
Crazy.
Um,
And then they get to do this because of free speech. So yeah, what's going on right now? How are you handling all of this? And how much are they attacking you like on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, I'm getting attacked if you count social media and all this online activism like daily, I think since June last year. But it's not only the Holocaust denial, it's just like I mean, I'm like now the most famous turf in Germany. So every time something bad happens to the trans community, it's somehow my fault. I don't know.
Right.
Um,
Genevieve Gluck, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Genevieve Gluck or Gluck, I'm not sure, but from Redux was writing about that and how same thing happening to J.K. Rowling. It's like and your name coming up because a trans teenager died at 16, age 16, I think. Wasn't he hurt by his friends? They were a friend group, and a couple of his friends attacked him. And
no,
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 what
no. He
happened?
was there was a pride parade, and somehow molested two lesbian women, and then a trans man tried to interfere, and then this man punched him in the face, and then he fell and hit his head, and then he died. This trans man sadly died
Oh,
1 week later, which is a tragedy, and
yeah.
it's horrible. But then media personalities and journalists and politicians somehow tweeted like, yeah, that's all Vollbrecht's fault, my name and other feminists
Right.
writers, like, because we are creating a climate in which people feel free to attack trans people or feel
And how
encouraged
does
to
that
attack.
make you feel when you see your name there and that how does that make you feel?
I mean, what can I do? I mean, at some
I,
point you just laugh it off, because they make me bigger than I am. It's actually
right.
funny sometimes. Like, they think I'm some sort of a super villain, controlling everything, uh,
Right.
having this big influence on everything. uh,
Yeah, let's see your t-shirt if you don't mind standing up for a second and just showing us. Yeah, you are a superwoman because you are standing up to these very bullying, awful tactics that involve associating you with violent crimes. I mean, that's and they say that we're doing that about them. I mean, it's really. I'm not trying to say that this is an even fight, that we have inflammatory rhetoric and they also have inflammatory rhetoric, because I think that our conversation that we're having right now is not inflammatory of the other side, that we're just describing what is happening, that you're describing what is happening. And um, I don't see feminists getting up on social media platforms and calling trans activists Nazis, for example. I don't see that. I see feminists presenting an opportunity for other feminists and the public to have a civil dialogue and conversation, exchanging information and ideas. That's what I see. I mean, where are the receipts that you and other feminists are responsible for these acts of violence. I think it's really dangerous. And if I were you, and I get some of this is happening to me too here in the United States, but I don't think it's happening as much as on the scale that it's happening to you. It feels like it's a little bit of a larger scale happening to you. But I can just see like the escalation and where does this end? Are you ever afraid to, go grocery shopping or things like that?
Yeah, I am afraid, or it always depends. If there's a shitstorm and all eyes are on me, and then I get a lot of threats, then of course I'm afraid. But usually the interest, it comes in waves. So there were times where I was really afraid and I could not leave my apartment for some days or some weeks. Then it got better. Then there was another then I don't know, a TV host picked up on turfs and put my face out there again. Then I was again, in the spotlight. And then these are the times when I get really afraid. And then also when people have started to recognize me on the street, because I still think I'm quite anonymous. And I live in Berlin. It's a big city. I always think like, ooh, no one knows me. Like in my from my point, I always think like I'm a nobody. I'm just walking around and no one is recognizing me. And then people are recognizing me. Then one of my online stalkers I was visiting a friend, and then my the address was like leaked, or the street where I was leaked on Twitter. So I think, okay, some people are watching me. Or the police said, yeah, it might be that someone recognized you on the street, and then there are Telegram groups, and then they posted something about your whereabouts there. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm afraid at grocery shopping, but there are some places in Berlin, or some yeah, occasions where I am afraid.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you. You're a scholar, you're a biologist, you want to be able to be out in public and hanging out with friends, as is your right, as a contributing citizen and member of society. Women have the right to be in public. And I think it's amazing, though, considering what you've gone through, that you want to speak out still for women's sex-based rights. Tell us about Vienna coming up in June, and what you're doing to help organize the next Speaker's Corner, Let Women Speak, Kelly J. Keane event.
Oh, I'm not organizing it. A good friend of mine, Donna, is organizing.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I understood that you were an organizer, but a friend of yours is an organizer. Okay.
I'm just a pipeline for the German turfs. So Donna, my Austrian friend, she's amazing. She's a feminist. She has a YouTube channel. We kind of got famous together. Because she when I was cancelled and I was not allowed to to give my talk about the two sexes. Donna had this like small YouTube channel, and she said, just come to my channel, and then you can have it there. And none of us would would expect that this talk, that so many people would watch this talk. And so
yeah.
she's amazing, and she just asked Posey Parker if she would come to an event in Vienna. And then Posey said, yeah, I'm going to be there in 6 weeks.
Nice.
So 10th of June she will be in Vienna, and
you're going.
and I'm going. I'm so in love with all the Austrian turfs. They are amazing. Like in Berlin, it's still really hard to get organized, or there are not too many women. But in the last 3 years, there's so much going on in women's movement in Vienna. Like every time I'm coming and visiting, there are more women, and yeah, and I'm just helping by. I mean, I want to contribute to this event, and I'm also trying to bring as many German women as possible. So that's where I'm helping, like bringing more women to Vienna, and it will hopefully be a great event and a big party
Well,
afterwards.
yeah, definitely. I mean, that was how it was when she came to Chicago. The organizers had reserved a restaurant afterwards, and we all went, and it was like a big feast. And I got to sit right next to her and talk with her, which was really amazing. And this young turf that had gone up on the mic bravely, she was trying to be anonymous, wearing sunglasses and stuff, but still just really bursting and wanting to speak. And she was so articulate. She was sitting at the table too, and it was all these American women from the Midwest, and it was so wonderful. I mean, it's great to be around Kelly J. Keene because I think she's such a great grassroots organizer, and then she provides a platform. She has like a mobile community center, because we all
Yes.
come together, and I think a lot of like the pettiness and the arguing and this and that can happen between feminist organizers sometimes, that it falls away, like you're with your family, you're with your feminist family and your community. I really hope the Vienna event is like that. Have you met these Austrian feminists before, or do you just
Yes.
know them online?
No, I think when I met this Austrian feminist, there were five, and now, I mean, now I'm in Italy. I'm on a I'm on a vacation, but before I was in Vienna, and I met so many women. I mean, I think 25, 30 women, all really great, and all ages, really young, radical feminists, a lot of lesbians, older women, in their 50s, and all of them are really keen on working together and really getting this thing moving. And I'm really hoping that yeah, in Austria they still have a chance to stop a lot of this movement that is far more radical in Germany. And since we are now discussing self-ID law in Germany, um, it gets more and more radicalized. Like the conversation gets more and more violent.
I know,
Um,
I know. Do you think of leaving Germany and living somewhere else?
um, Not now. I mean, now I'm in Italy. I'm just like, maybe I just stay here because
No one's
like if I
bothering you there. No one knows
no
you.
one is bothering me. I think if I would go here in the village and ask people what is a woman, everyone would look at me like, what are you even talking about? Like this is
What is a woman?
like why are you even asking me this?
Right.
Um
That's great. So it's a small village that you're in
yes, I'm at
Italy.
I needed some. That's my first vacation
Oh, that's so wonderful.
since
And
May last year. And
yeah.
I really needed a break. I needed to get away from everything because I have my PhD. I have to do a lot of research. I have a job. I'm like a, which is translated, a teaching assistant. So I have to do lectures and seminars. And then I also have all these lawsuits as my
Yeah,
new.
girlfriend. Wow, your plate is full.
And then I'm also trying to organize as much as possible. And yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
trying not
like
to cave.
free speech for women events, or let women speak events. What do you think about doing a let women speak event in Germany? Not that you would be the organizer, but would Kelly J. Keene consider? Do you think, has she been to Germany and done a speaker's corner there?
No, she hasn't. She hasn't been to Germany. I think she's now coming to Austria, and then the next day or the day after, she will be in Switzerland. But yeah, of course, the next step would be to invite her to a German
Germany. But you said that currently in Germany these self-ID laws are being passed, and so there's been.
Yeah, we were discussing about it. There was an attempt 1.5 years ago. It was stopped, but now there's a new law discussed, and we're really. I mean, it's amazing how much happened since the last time when no newspaper would write about it, when we were only a handful of women online organizing against it. Now there's much more, spotlight on the discussion, and you have also more critical articles about it.
Well then,
And
I mean, yeah, it's definitely heating up and polarizing in a way, which happens in politics and in social movements. Karsten Pop says in Berlin would be a great place, but violent. Can you respond
yeah,
to that?
that's actually, I don't want to. I mean, this will be something we can discuss in the future. I'm already, or there are some women talking about organizing an event with Posey, but yeah, the problem is Berlin would be really, really violent. And I mean, only with Vienna, I just made a fun tweet because when Posey's coming, it will be Pride Month. So I said, okay, German turfs come to Vienna. I can connect you with people who offer yeah, beds and sofas. And come on, let's crash Pride Month by just talking to each other. And then I sometimes I forget that these people are watching me like 24/7, and then they were like, "Oh my God, she wants to come to Austria and she wants to crash people, and these turfs are going to be violent." And of course, there's now a counter protest, and even
Oh, Marie.
trans
Oh,
activists calling for me for
oh
politicians not
no.
to let me enter the country. It's amazing how sometimes you just tweet something and then it escalates completely.
Yes, I know. And all we're doing is, I mean, we're actually doing free speech. You know what I mean? What I think of as free speech, which is expression, creative expression, unique creative expression that conjures ideas and conjures discussion. That is free speech. And that's what we're doing, and so then they observe it and they twist it, and they say that adult human female here in Madison, they say that phrase adult human female is a dog whistle for hate.
Yes. I
I'm
mean,
like,
everything is a dog whistle, it's
right.
everything I do is a dog whistle. Like they write articles about um I mean, as I said, it's really insane. Like I shared a video of a beaver like online because I found it really cute. Um, and then some other woman would start to put a beaver, in the Twitter profile. And now, I don't know, I think 6 or 8 weeks later, there's actually TikTok videos produced like how to spot a turf. What are the right-wing dog whistles? Like they're putting beavers in their profile to say that vaginas, beavers just can have
Oh,
heterosexual
but this isn't
relations.
sexist. This has
It's just,
nothing to do with misogyny, hatred of women. I mean,
I
I
mean,
I just.
I talked about in my famous talk, where I explained that there's male and female in biology and nothing else. I had a kiwi plant as an example, like because kiwis or most plants, kiwi plants, they're really distinctive, male plants and female plants. I mean, I could have also you can also take weed as an example. Okay, everyone knows that there are female plants, there are male plants. Yeah.
Right.
And so since I just took the kiwi as an example for being for having this like distinctive male and female characteristics, uh, people now say that the kiwi fruit, the emoji, is a right-wing dog whistle, and people actually got banned from Instagram by using this symbol of hate. I mean, that's the point. I could, I can wish someone a good morning and people would still think that I'm intending to murder them. It's like everything I do is evil because I'm an evil turf.
Yeah, and it's like they've forgotten about, or they never knew about misogyny, and that, it's been around for like 5,000 years or however long patriarchy's been around. It's like they completely ignore that as if it's not happening, and obviously it is happening, and it's harming us, it's harming women, it's harming women of all different walks of life and belief systems in our society. And I just, again, I'm just so sorry. And I hope everything works out for you, Marie. I hope everything works out for me too, because I mean, I hate this shit. Like, I read that there's like some anti-turf propaganda floating around online that is coming out of Austin, Texas. It's like a zine, and it's calling for car bombing us and like shooting down doors. And this is America, like, you don't write shit like that. We shouldn't be able to, in the name of free speech, talk about shooting people, in a publication that gets distributed for a movement. Like, and these people that they're talking about are women. They're all women. Like, that's what turf, if you, every time you hear the word turf, think woman, because that's pretty much what it is,
I
but
always I always think bitch because it's like we, at least in Germany, like everyone is like, oh, we're anti-sexist, but um give people a certain group of women that you label witches or evil. There is this misogyny coming out of so many so-called progressive men. I mean, it's also conservative women or really right-winged women or turfs. Like, no matter what, these insults are somehow okay, or death threats are okay, or even people are saying, oh yeah, punching a turf in the face is okay. So I actually went to an event in December, and I just participated in an event. I had nothing to do, I didn't organize it, I just wanted to go. And there was this author, and he read a new piece, and I made known before that I'm coming. So there was this violent trans activist protesters. They would not attack only me. They would attack all the women entering and leaving. There was even a pregnant woman. Like, they're not stopping. And then I just said, okay, nothing too bad happened to me. They just insulted me and then they shoved me. Like, when I tried to enter, someone just like rammed the elbow in my side and they shoved me from behind. And then people would say like, oh yeah, she deserved it. If that would have been me, she would have the elbow not in her side but in her face. And then actually a lawyer with his, who tweets under his name said, yeah, everyone who does that to a Nazi gets a 50% discount. I mean, that's how they're talking about an event where a lot of women were attacked because they were not even turfs. There's just women attending an event that I am attending. I am a turf. Therefore, every woman is suspected to be a turf and deserves violence. I mean, this is
right,
the logic.
suspected to be a turf, or a turf sympathizer or whatever. It's like, I don't
And
know. I mean,
then you see it's only against women. It's like
right.
that. It's just yeah, it's and there's this specific kind of man that like that, and
Yeah, I
they're really
mean, Mary
into it.
Daly talks about this. She talked about it in her book, Gynecology, a patriarchal reversal. They accuse us of what they themselves are doing, and um, they claim that we're violent because we are merely saying, hey, we don't believe that you're a woman and we believe there are two biological sexes, and we're willing to say these things because we care about life. I mean, why are you in this fight now, Marie? What keeps you going? What motivates you?
Mm, I think, I mean, first of all, it's not really a choice. I mean, I get dragged in. My face is out, my name is out. Um, there's nothing to win with withdrawing from it. Like people are saying, "Ah, just delete your social media, just apologize, just keep your head low for a while," but you will never get rid of these um defamations. They don't let me go even if I don't do anything. They're kind of dragging me back in because they need somehow, then they need to have like
A
an
scapegoat.
yeah, scapegoat or an enemy. So I mean, I'm in. um but it's also, I also see it as my, like, I just don't want to be victimized all the time with people saying me, "Oh, you're such a victim, I'm so sorry this is happening to you, I am so sorry this is happening to you." And then I think, yeah, but I'm also, it's not only happening to me, I'm also deciding to stay in this fight because I am right. And this is actually something that motivates me because I never said anything hateful. I'm a biologist. I'm defending um I'm defending biology. I'm defending women. Um I'm not a hateful person. I'm defending logic and facts and everything that is good. And I think that keeps me going.
I love that. I love that so much, Marie. And I would have to agree. That's what keeps me going too. And I don't really have much of a choice anymore. I mean, yeah, both of us, we could delete our social media and just lay low, and maybe after 5 years, people would just forget about it or something. Especially if we were to apologize.
Yeah, and why should we apologize? I mean, I'm
Right.
really,
To make the threats of violence go away. That's why you would apologize. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like it wouldn't be an authentic apology, of course, but just because we're scared. Like I said, when I turned on my car today as I was going to get dirt for the community garden that the trans activists have vandalized here in Madison, a community garden that I work in my neighborhood. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like trans people benefit from gardens too. Like, why can't I garden? I'm just gardening. And I was going to the gardening store to get some burlap and some soil and things like that. And all of a sudden, I'm turning the key on my car and I'm thinking, what if they hate me so much and they were just threatening in the local media to escalate. They didn't threaten violence in this puff piece where they were puffing up these men who pretend to be women in Madison in a local media publication. Anyway, but one of the things this one man said, who is responsible for getting me fired from a job, he he was promising that he was going to continue to escalate his activism, which is, very targeted at me often, and targeted at women and feminists. And the local media and everybody just sort of goes along with it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've got our little feminist group, but women are afraid, they're scared to come out. And I think that it's like their violent tactics work, right? It works to keep women afraid. And hence divided and not in community and not, but we're so powerful, Marie. Women birthed the world, right? Like every human being on this earth is here because of a woman. And I think that power can be harnessed and can become a political power. And I think that political feminism can be about that. And I'm going to just go to the comments and see what we've got.
It's not,
here.
I mean, I'm a feminist, but at this point, it's not even about feminism or not. It's just about the right of women, and every woman, if she calls herself a feminist or not. This is just basic rights. And I also feel, so many women are reaching out to me, and they're all afraid to speak out, and they're sharing really intimate and often really horrible stories with me, and they're so desperate. And I don't know, I never thought of myself as being like, someone who fights at the first front of things. But there need to be women like us that maybe motivate other women. And I mean, it's the same with me. I'm looking up to all the women that came before us. Um, and if, every one of us inspires another woman, or even two or five or 10 to stand up, and that's what I'm seeing, yeah, then we have actually a chance to win this thing, at least win this political discussion here in Germany, because most women still don't have any idea what is going on. And if you talk with women here in Germany, they're looking at you like you're completely crazy. They're like, what? What are they trying to do? And it's like, yeah, it's about our rights. They're trying to take away our rights. And women are not a minority. Women are half of the population. And if I say, I don't want to see this dick, I don't want to see this dick. It's like, like when did this become something I have to discuss, with people? Like, if it's a female penis, I have to accept it. No, just I said no, and no means no. Why is this up to debate?
Right. I mean, we've lost so much cultural ground in the past 10 years to the trans activist movement. Why are the human rights of women up for debate? That's ridiculous. But yet here we are, and they seem to be escalating. And I think the only solution is for us to come together in our groups and organize. And that's what you're doing. And you can find real friendship and kinship and form real bonds in women's campaigning and women's community. And I appreciate what you're saying. Like, I don't know. I consider myself to be a feminist, but I'm not going to quibble. It's about women, and it's about women's rights and women being full human beings. And to me, that, because I care about that, I think that is a feminist thing. If you don't want to use that term, fine. But I look at your behavior and your actions and what you're doing, and obviously you care about women and girls and material reality, all things that just should be normal, but unfortunately in today's world, it's I don't know, things that should be taken for granted and normal are extreme.
Yeah, and it's even, for me, I mean, it's because of women, and because I'm a feminist, and I cannot do my feminist activism anymore. Like, this subject is interfering with everything we are trying to do. And I talked also with a lot of feminists that they're so exhausted, like that we're having to stand our ground to defend what a woman is, that we cannot even focus on anything else. So, I'm into this because I'm a feminist, but I'm also into this because I'm a woman, because they say trans rights are human rights. Yeah, I agree on that, but women rights are also human rights, and women have human rights. And also, I'm a biologist. And what is happening at universities, that we cannot we cannot talk about evolution and the reality of sexes without being called transphobes, or that activists are actually can get you fired as a biologist. This is also on a different level. Then we have people getting dragged to court because they're just stating fact. So of course I'm a feminist, and a lot of my activism centers around being a feminist, but this is even bigger than this. That should concern everyone. That's what I tell everyone when I say, oh, that's like such a feminist subcultural debate. No, this is
No, it's not.
this is
No,
a
this
debate.
is about basic civic decorum and people being able to be out in public and women being able to participate as full citizens and do their work as biologists, as bus drivers, as teachers, as whatever professional we may want to be out in public. I mean, this and yeah, it's about half the population, and it's astounding that people don't see how this big lie about people being able to change sex using hormones and surgeries, and that it's okay to do that to children, that isn't seen. It's astounding that that's not seen for what it is in so many venues in our society, in so many media outlets. I hope
The
I'm
children,
surprised by that.
I would say the children are the fifth reason why I'm in it, because um it's actually, I mean, if you deny biology, the next step is always to create the so-called trans children. And the horrors I read about children being transed by the parents, trans by society, and the damages it has done, the stories I have heard from people, this is just insane.
Right.
And
Yeah.
no one is stopping it. This is
So we've got about 8 minutes left in our hour-long program that we're doing today. I just want to ask our online audience, and we'll thank our online audience, first of all, for showing up today. And if you've got any questions for Marie, please put them in the comments. I also want to direct everybody to the bottom of the screen where there's a ticker tape going that is Marie's GoFundMe campaign for her legal defense. So if we can support Marie in that way, that would be awesome. And that's rolling across the screen at the bottom. So let me go to the comments here and see what women are saying. Karsten Papp again says that there are men in Germany that are behind you and your fight. And it looks like we've got a German comment here. You can't read it, Marie. Du magst ganz.
yes.
You can read it. What does it mean?
It says that I am encouraging a lot, and that's great.
Oh, wonderful. So, and then Kiki, the rad femme cat lady, says, we are re-educating children to not know the truth, indoctrination for a brave new world. Let's just close out the program, Marie, on asking you, what are your plans for moving forward? What do you want to see the women's movement do? How do you see us winning, and which direction should we be going right now?
I think that's a really big question for the end, and I think there's no general answer, because I think it really depends on the country, and I would say the fight is the same but different. So in Germany, the main focus should be on stopping the self-ID law currently discussed, and I'm really working on it. There is a big project I was involved coming out in beginning of June. I can't say anymore, but I hope this will I mean, this will again attract a lot of negative attention to me, but it's a project that almost took a year now to finish. It's about trans activism in Germany, and I really hope it will again spark a debate and stop the self-ID law. And then from there, if we stop this, we can try to get this ideology out of our universities, get this ideology out of the medical establishment, um, out of mainstream media, and out of schools and education. Like, because this is where it has unnoticed penetrate everything in the last 20 years. And I think we need like a discussion in a society, like what is happening there. There's this ideology unnoticed, interfering with so many parts of the society, disabling it and producing a lot of horrors as a consequence. And we need to have a really hard look at that and trying to make right on people that suffered.
And that circles back, what your last comments circle back to how this issue, it really does impact everyone. It impacts how our society functions and has a conversation and interacts with material reality. It's crazy. In the court of law here in the United States, they are referring to a murderer. His name is Dana Rivers. I can't remember his real name right now. You might remember it. I'm sure some of our viewers do. But anyway, he's known as Dana Rivers. And the court of law refers to him as a she, as a woman. And he killed a lesbian couple.
I know this case. Yeah. But we have the same with the new self-ID law. It's discussed right now. Not even journalists, no one is allowed to call a biological man a man anymore. If this person just states I'm a woman, and there could be a fine up to 10,000 euros. And there's right now a journalist, a female journalist, that wrote about my case because a trans activist actually insulted me and spread lies about me online. And she called him a man, and now he's dragging her to court. So we're also having to fight this battle that you cannot call a man anymore, and not even the crimes in the future being reported. You can never be sure if this is really.
So then obviously this impacts all of society because our crime statistics are wrong. They're fabricated.
Everything's fabricated. Like you're making women invisible. If you not have any data, like why do any science at all about about gender or sex or whatever? If everyone can be anything, like.
Yeah. I just wanted to sneak in that the name of the man who murdered the lesbian couple and their son is David Warfield. And, he's known as Dana Rivers, which is part of that fabrication,
Yeah, and in Germany,
a woman's name.
And in Germany, by just calling his so-called dead name or misgendering, you could be punished in the future with up to 10,000 euros. Like that's what we're fighting against.
Right. We need to fight against these laws, these self-ID laws, because they just are leading us down a path towards an authoritarian regime, really, of this ideology that becomes part of the structure of society. We don't know. It's confusing. It's wrong. We're animals. We're creatures. We're male and female. Little kids, they know the difference between male and female just instinctually. It's going against our basic instincts. It's just wrong for everyone. It's wrong for everyone. So, Marie, it is so great to talk to you. Really inspiring. Hang in there. Keep us posted. I am personally just across the ocean here, just rooting for you. And I can't wait to see what the women do in Vienna. And
Yeah.
do you have any final words that you'd like to share?
No, just thanks for having me. I'm glad to update you. I hope nothing nothing too bad happens, so I have to update you quite soon. But just keep in touch, and yeah, I'm I'm also thinking about you, and if I can do anything to support you, just hang in there and keep strong.
Right on. Solidarity, Marie.
Solidarity.
Thank you so much. And I think we will end the broadcast now. Thank you so much to all of our WLRN followers who have been here today online as our online audience. And we will see you again in the near future in the Femisphere. This is Thistle Pedersen signing off.